It is 14:27, in other words 2:27 p.m. on the 3rd of August 2022, and my Duramax 1-ton with an Allison transmission. Just doing a little work on it here. Those are the calipers right there. They're just giant. Those black calipers, double pistons. This truck weighs 8,000 empty because I have a huge heavy bumpers and winches on the front and rear and some lights and steel canopy. One of the first things I do when I buy a new truck is I put a gem top steel canopy on there to put a little weight in the back and a line of bed and mud flaps and some other, but a little extra weight is good. But those rotors there, those gray rotors, those are the front, and a device right there to the right of my pry bar that holds the shoe pads in, and it's a backing plate right there. Has really gigantic brake shoes too, but I'd put some studs in. That hub there is pretty new, but I broke 5 studs. Don't ask how, but sometimes we make mistakes. But yeah, I actually broke 5 studs. Those are 14mm studs, and I was driving it with 3 studs. And some people, every now and then, someone would notice at a gas station or whatever. A couple times they go, "Sir, did you know you have a bunch of studs broken?" I go, "Why, yes, I do." So it's like that movie, I guess, The Year of Living Dangerously. So I got to go a ways, a little further down the road. So I want to be, I'm going to put in that axle drive shaft. It's a half shaft. It goes from the front transaxle to the hub. It's 4-wheel drive, and then that's a lower control arm there. I don't just do the ball joints. I'm doing the lower control arm and upper control arm. That way the bushings that are in there, most people just do the ball joints and then they wait till it gets all worn out and it's handling squirrely and stuff. So if you do the whole upper and lower control arm, it comes those bushings in there too, the pivot bushings. So it's always a good idea. And then that's a brand new hub right there for the roadside. And that's the rear. That's one of the rear rotors right there, and that's the rear caliper. That rear caliper is not quite as heavy duty. The front does most of the stopping on this stuff. But if you take care of your brakes, it's conceivable to get $250,000 out of a set of pads on this truck, even though it weighs 8,000 pounds. But you better you probably want to pull your wheels though, and take the calipers off and just look at them and maybe put a little corrosion X on there or something so they're less likely to hang up, and just clean them, get the dirt out of there and stuff, and maybe that'll help. Because I had one caliper that seized, so I had to put a rotor on years ago. That was about 9 years ago. But so I already did the upper and lower control arm on this side, and I put a hub in, a brand new hub on, and of course I'm going to put a caliper on there too. Oh, what else? Oh yeah, and then also these has a 6-inch lift kit, so that one spindle thing right there, it's up at, I have some of those in this box right here. What are they? And did I mark what it was? They have red bushing special, and that one looks loose. I don't want it to oval out those holes on the new lower control arm. That already has a new axle shaft in it too. But those are expensive. They gave me the wrong ones twice, and then they finally got the right ones. That hub would not fit over that spline, so they finally got me the right ones, and they were twice the price. It's almost like they're angry at me for wanting the right part, and they shipped them to me. I had to ship them all back and stuff. So oh yeah, this thing here too. I'm putting this on the rear. This is a slip spline, and this little protective cover on it there. This is a nickel plated. That's a nickel plated slip yoke. See what has splines in there, and that's a nickel plated. It's just I was happened to be looking through a Shopkey Pro Mitchell 1. I call it Shopkey Pro, but it's like tells you all this information, and they're like TSBs, technical service bulletins. This is one of the things they had in there, was to put and I put new U-joint, universal joints in the rear drive line too. They're in good shape, the ones that are in there. But while I'm in there, while I get the drive line out, I'm going to put 2 new U-joints in too. But I got to burnish in these. They say to burnish in your brakes. Some drawn out process where you go a certain amount of mile speed and slow down slowly, and they do it a few times. I'm not really necessarily going to do that. I'm just going to take it easy for a while and stop a few times, let it cool maybe. I'm not going to be like on the brakes down a big hill or anything, so I don't think that's really that important. You just got to make sure you don't hammer the brakes when their pads are not burnished into the rotors so much. But what's interesting about these rear ones, where are the rear ones? Of course it's disc, so it has pads, calipers. And on the inside, there's brake shoes. Inside here, that's the parking brake. And those are operated by a cable, but I got new shoes and kits for those too. I think this, all these parts I put on my truck, oh my gosh. What I, 6,000? Maybe more. I can't believe it was over $85 for a fuel filter the other day. I shouldn't have bought it at that actually. Maybe I'll switch to a Caterpillar fuel filter, but it is important to not have water in your fuel though. And those fuel filters have a little sensor on the bottom. It detects the specific gravity of the fuel. Water makes that thing float, and then it makes a little small amount of water constantly in your water will ruin your engine. But it took a lot of water to get that thing to float. Your engine's probably going to stop before that, because it's not going to run on water. It'll be missing, or it won't be sounding too good, not very powerful and stuff. And then it'll probably just engine will stop. It won't ruin the engine if you get a little fuel in the water, but you don't really want to put fuel through your injectors. That's for water. But nice day. Yeah, so I got to get an important passenger in a couple of days. Very beautiful new a friend. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. I've been putting this off. I have 160 projects. It's one of the reasons it's kind of, the driveway needs to be cleaned here and stuff, and a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh, literally 160 projects.